You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are. Welcome, everybody, to another post-game show from the Bring the Thunder podcast as OKC takes care of business at home against the Miami Heat, 124-112, thanks to a big third quarter push where Shai knocked down 9 consecutive shots and completely switched this game for us. So, without further ado, let's do a little stat check before we get into this game. So, SGA, 29 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. We had Chet Holmgren with 16 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks. J-Dub with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. And then AJ Mitchell off the bench with 16 points, really bringing us some big points overall. But moving over to Miami's side, we had Andrew Wiggins drop 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 three-pointers. We had Bam Adebayo pick up 14 boards, but only 6 points on the other end. And then we had Tyler Herro with 19 points, 8 of 15 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. So, without further ado, Savir, let's get into kind of some of the things that happened with this win, starting with just whatever you noticed first. So, what'd you think here?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I noticed was everyone kind of freaking out about SGA being in a shooting slump or essentially just not having his A game on when he usually kind of does this in a lot of games for the season. I mean, I've noticed it. Probably you've noticed it as well, Gabe. Like he'll be sitting at like 7 points at the half, and then randomly in the second half, he'll just, score a bunch of points, 20 plus points. And that's where we end up winning or blowing out teams as well. And that's been a consistent theme for us. And as long as we keep it close, he usually conserves his energy. It's that LeBron James strategy of coasting through the first 2 quarters, getting everyone involved, kind of seeing what the defense is giving you. And then if the shots aren't falling, I mean, he only took at that point where everyone was freaking out like 4 shots or 3 shots, and all of them just didn't hit. And then goes into the second half, kind of reloads, gets his mindset. And we know what he can do when he's kind of, ready to rock and roll. But what I did notice from the get-go, though, for him to be able to do that, we need Chet and J-Dub to be on their A-game. Chet in the first 7 minutes had 7 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, 2 blocks. And SGA was obviously not shooting too well in those first 5 minutes. So I thought that was really beneficial for us. And we hadn't seen J-Will in a really long time since the NBA Cup semifinals, which is a long time. So it was great to see him. He got an ovation. He also had 7 points in his first 4 minutes. So I feel like the rest of the team kind of starting out hot and then having SGA just carry us in the third and fourth quarters is kind of the strategy. And this is kind of the blueprint for us winning most games is SGA carrying us in the second half, our 2 big stars leading us early, and our bench and role players giving us 10 plus points. That's really all we ask from this team. And if they can do that at a consistent level, then we'll see a lot more consistent wins, what we're used to. We don't need the 30-point blowouts, 25-plus point blowouts, or even 15-plus blowouts, because that's a historic number 1 team ever type of category, right? Like if we can get just back to 10-plus wins in terms of points differential, I'll take that. And I want to swing it back over to you.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about J-Dub. There was a lot of things that you and I addressed in the last post game, which was people needed to relax on J-Dub and he'll get back to his full form. Tonight he looked great. He did everything we needed him to do. He was driving down with all the force that we normally need him to, where he's pushing the pace, where he's forcing fouls, and he ends up with 18 points, 9 of 13 from the field, doing everything we need him to do. He was everywhere we needed. That 3 ball still isn't falling, but like we've mentioned multiple times, he understands that. He only shot 1 3 tonight. He wasn't forcing them. He wasn't chucking them up just because he could. He was being smart. He was taking good plays. And then with 4 rebounds and 4 assists as well, he's doing a bit of everything. And then the 2 steals. J-Dub is, I mean, it's a slow process. We've mentioned that. But he's looking more confident every game, it feels like. He's starting to take his shots that we know he's normal at taking. He's getting downhill a lot more and pushing that pace like we need him to. But then Chet Holmgren, he's been on a tear, man. I feel like we keep mentioning how well he's been playing recently. Great game from him tonight. There were a lot of shots where it felt like Miami didn't really understand how good of a shot blocker this guy is. Like there were shots they were putting up on him that were just not good, frankly. I mean, he's I think people underestimate the wingspan. You know, they think that they get a step on him and they try to put a shot up. And lo and behold, he just comes out of nowhere and sends it into the stands. But great game out of Chet, really. I mean, he knocked down a big three as well. Having a player like him on this team, it's invaluable. Like, you literally cannot explain how helpful he is. There's been a lot of, like, when all the Giannis rumors were happening, there was a lot of talks of, like, him being the one that we traded for Giannis and whatnot. And the idea of trading Chet is just something that I can never get behind. I mean, the ceiling is so high. It is. What he can bring to this team is so useful. And every night I feel like we're up here talking about it. And he's one of those guys who I also feel like you don't realize just how much he's done until you look at the stats after the game. You realize, like, okay, wow, he was doing pretty much everything he could, including playmaking. That pass he had to J-Dub on the backdoor cut was beautiful. I mean, the big three were just clicking tonight. But I want to talk about AJ Mitchell once again. I feel like here we go again talking about AJ Mitchell, but the way he plays in this role that he has, it cannot be understated how useful he is to this team. Being able to have another guy who can run the offense when Shai's not in, or even when Shai is in. I mean, there was a play towards the end of the game where Shai got kind of wiped out and there was a no call, and on the other end, Wiggins poked it free, and AJ was bringing the ball up, and you could tell Shai really wanted it. He was angry, it got taken out, and you can tell he wanted it. AJ didn't give it to him. AJ ran the offense like he normally does and got a layup out of it. Like, I'm not saying that not giving the ball to Shai is the right move, but AJ understands the defense. He can read an offense. He can run everything. Like, the fact that this guy is pretty much playing his first actual season right now is blowing my mind. Offensively, he's a stud. Defensively, he's a stud. He led the team tonight with the highest plus minus. He had a plus 22. AJ Mitchell's an absolute dog. What do you think, Saber?
Yeah, he's definitely a dog. And when you were talking about J-Dub, I mean, he started the game 5 for 5, carrying that momentum that he created from the Grizzlies game that I thought was amazing. And also, we went on an 8-0 run. We were up 42-41 there, and J-Dub hit a jumper, nasty dunk by Wiggins into the Chet fadeaway, and then Mitchell had that putback. I feel like that really created that momentum shift that we needed. And then SGA went from missing his first 5 shots to then hitting his next 5, creating 11-point advantage for us. And then from there, it was just best basketball we could imagine. We had SGA, Chet, Kenrich, Joe, just lighting it up in the second half. Also, I want to mention for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, before getting back to the AJ Mitchell conversation, this is his 110th straight 20-plus point game. That's a lot of games. I mean, I'm also running out of comments to make as to how unbelievable this is. I mean, we're just kind of just waiting for him to break the record at some point, and him finishing, that third quarter stint with, I believe, like 26 points on 10 of 16 shooting, and he still had like 4 minutes left in the third quarter at that point. So I thought that was amazing. Getting back to AJ Mitchell, 16 points, 4 rebounds. He's pretty solid at rebounding. He's not that small. I feel like as he ages as well, we got to remember these guys are really young. As he ages, I feel like he'll bulk up in size and become a guard that has a lot more strength, ball control, so the turnovers will be less and the defense will only get better. So the future is really bright for a guy like AJ, and he is someone that could end up starting next season for us, to be honest. I mean, he's that level of a player. He's kind of rising into that, and this is, like you're mentioning, his first actual full season with us, and he's being really consistent. I think, it's super unexpected, and that's where it's not really a slump when you have that much usage from guys. Like, you have 4 different players that need the ball as much. So when, let's say, like, Chet's not a 20-plus point scorer or J-Dub's not a 20-plus point scorer, I actually don't mind that, because if their usage is less, that means they get a little bit more rest off the ball. They can play off the ball, conserve their energy for defense. And then you have a guy that actually is able to pull up the slack like an AJ Mitchell that we haven't had ever since this new, dynasty is forming. So I feel like he's kind of just the perfect piece, that X factor that the Thunder were missing. This is the guy that we were saying, let's go out and trade for, like a Cam Thomas, but we actually have Cam Thomas at home. So hopefully Joe's watching this.
Yeah, for sure. As for a comment here, Austin Roberts, J-Dub ended with 18 points. Very efficient night for him, 9 of 13 from the field. But I wanted to mention something else that was big for me tonight. Just mentioning this, like, Saber, you and I have predicted this. I literally just said this the other day. J. Will's first game back, and we win the rebounds. this is how it's going to go, guys. Like, really, even if he only put up I'm not going to say only 5 rebounds in 14 minutes is absolutely impressive, but simply having him in the game, having a big back, he will be boxing out. He'll be fighting in the paint. And I know Miami's not a great rebounding team, but for us, winning the rebound battle is huge. But even a bigger step in that, we had 13 offensive rebounds compared to 5. Like, that's big. I was just saying the other day too, like, you will die in a game where you give up a ton of offensive rebounds. Like, those second chance points will kill you. So us getting those and being able to take care of business on the boards it's single-handedly making a huge difference. And like I just said, we were just saying yesterday, Sabri, you and I, like, just J Will, not even Hartenstein, just J Will being back, we will start winning rebound games. And first game back, he only plays 14 minutes and the whole team is getting more rebounds. I mean, our guards, all of our starters had at least 4 rebounds or more. All of our starters off the bench. I mean, AJ Mitchell, like you mentioned, 4 rebounds. Like, our guards are not having to use as much energy in the paint from just those 14 minutes that J Will played. Like, that is huge. That us being healthy and having our bigs is going to change that rebound battle. And other than that, like, the reason we didn't beat the crap out of them tonight is the 3 ball was not falling consistently until that huge run we had. We shot 29% from 3, and that is frustrating. I do want us to shoot better and not like lights out, but like, if we shoot 34% from 3, like, we beat these guys by 20 points and it's not close. So like, the 3 ball is going to fall at a more consistent rate. It was off tonight for the first 3 quarters, but once that 3 ball falls consistently as well, and then Hartenstein's back, and now we're really taking care of the boards, this team's going to be right back to where we said they were. They're going to be right back to dominating the league, and no one wants to hear that except Thunder fans. So this is just the little teaser of it. This is a little taste of it. J-Lo comes back. We crush on the rebounds. That's what I was noticing from tonight, was that rebound battle. 13 offensive boards is huge to me. What do you think, Sevier?
Yeah, I want to get back to, the praise for J. Will is well-deserved. And the thing I'll add about him is the reason you mentioned it exactly. Like, we need another guy that's boxing out, and that saves and conserves a lot of energy than more people think. Basketball isn't just about putting the ball in the hoop. Contrary to current NBA standards where everyone thinks they're going to just get the $40 million bag just because they put the ball in the hoop, that is not the case. You need guys that are doing a lot of X factor things, and J. Will brings the charges, he brings the hustle, and he brings just someone that's an extra big body out there, and you need multiple guys out there that are like that, and I thought he is amazing for that. And I also want to touch on the fact that, as I was mentioning the X factor talks with AJ, he's starting to pretty much be our 5th starter at this point. 27 minutes tonight. I'm looking at the minute distribution. This is kind of where I want it to be, where Chet, J-Dub, SGA are all above or at 30 points. And we have Kaysen and AJ pretty much at 25. And then Aaron Wiggins at 20 consistently every single night. And then on top of it, Lou Dort with 20 minutes every single night. I mean, if we can get to this minute distribution and then in the playoffs just raise it for each player a little bit, I'm cool with that. Like, with that type of lineup, obviously inserting Hartenstein into the mix as well, getting him his, let's say 25 minutes as well. I feel like that will end up being the lineup that I'll like the most and probably the most consistent one. And that's probably the one we should rock and roll with. And obviously having spot minutes for J. Will, Caruso. And I think I saw a comment earlier that Kenrich only got 7 minutes. I'll pull this one up by Mark and address it since I'm already on the topic of minutes. I mean, yeah, he had a 20-plus point game, but he's also the oldest guy, one of the oldest guys on the team. We can't run him and Caruso to the ground. That's why they only really get between 10 to 15 minutes a night, and that's all we can really give to them because they're not really offensive aces. They're just out there to create those X-factor moments that I'm talking about, whether it's hustling, whether it's getting rebounds, or whatever it may be that we need from them. They know what it is, and they get it done. And that's pretty much as simple as that. Like, if he gets 10 minutes a night, that's really, he's just kind of in there for the energy. And that's what I mentioned about him, Caruso, Kenrich. They're more energy guys. There's something about someone bringing, a different energy versus guys that are starting to get tired and those legs get tired. And teams don't really have spark plugs on their team. I feel like the whole Thunder roster is full of spark plug guys. Every guy that comes in is ready to rock and roll, is laser focused, knows exactly what their role is. And that's why we win a lot of games. And so I love that, he kind of got his minutes down because we can't run him and Caruso to the ground. And we can see Caruso's minutes are starting to get less and less because he's more of a spot player where there's an oversized big that comes in. We put Caruso in or Kenrich in, and they're great for that. Gets the additional rebounding, helps out on defense. And if they're not positive net positive on their offensive side, that's no problem because we probably have them out there with an SGA or we have them out there with Chet and J-Dub while they're balling. So I feel like Mark's doing a fantastic job with the minutes. I think I mentioned this. We're going to start rocking and rolling as we get healthy, and we're hitting that perfect time of the year where All-Star season is going to come in. They're going to get a nice little break, and then from there, it's going to be full ramp forward. Yeah, we may lose maybe 3 or 4 more games to end of the season or something, but I'm honestly going to take that. We still do play the Spurs 2 more times, so that's no problem. But I do think we'll at least split that series for the last 2 games that we have left with them. We may lose 1 more against them. I'm not going to discount them, but I feel like we're having a sneaky 5th starter arrives in AJ Mitchell where, he's pretty much taken over that 5th spot, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah, absolutely. There was another comment from you, Mark, saying that we really didn't need them tonight. They show up when it matters. That is very true, and that's kind of the way to look at this. Like, I love Kenny, and I do agree with you. Like, what he brought in that last game was it's one of the biggest reasons that we pulled off the comeback against the Grizzlies. Like, it was a huge game for sure, but both the positive and the negative of being in this situation is we're so deep and we're so good that we're going to have games where a guy drops 21 game and then doesn't get as many minutes off the bench. That's just how it's going to work because like Savvy was saying, like Mark has to very carefully monitor these minutes, and he has to know he's giving certain minutes to the guys who are going to get him every single night. But then there are moments where it just calls for a certain type of player. There are moments where, like you're mentioning, we need Caruso. There's moments where AJ Mitchell's lighting it up, so he's going to play extra minutes tonight. And I'm very grateful for Kenny tonight. 7 minutes, picks up 4 boards. That's huge. Like that. Thank you. Like, seriously, that's big. I don't need him to be playing 15, 18, 20 minutes and putting up a bunch of shots when other guys are doing perfectly fine and hitting their shots. So, like, I know we weren't shooting great from 3 tonight, but I don't think Kenny coming in is like the saving grace, and that's what's going to change it is, oh, well, Kenny came in, he's going to knock down 4 threes. Like, that's not what he's coming in for. He's coming in to hustle. He's coming in to change the game in that sense. And in terms of hustle and rebounding, like, that wasn't a problem tonight. We didn't need that, so he didn't come in. Isaiah Joe gets more minutes tonight than other players. Wiggins gets his minutes. Like, we're putting up shots. That's what matters. We have guys playing offensively and defense, and Kenny just didn't fit that tonight. So that's kind of where I was with that. But there was a comment as well that I read from, I think it was from Unk, saying Caruso's minutes need to go up in the playoffs. I kind of agree with that, and I also don't. It depends on the matchup. Like, I do want Caruso to be playing more minutes, but here's kind of how I think of it, Unk. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. To me, Caruso he's our second coach. He's here he reads the defense, he reads the offense. He'll go tell players, he teaches, he takes moments to explain to us, like, hey, I'm reading that this player is doing this every time. Keep an eye on it. Like, he's more here for the IQ at this point than he is to come in and make a big difference. So, like, don't get me wrong, he's absolutely valuable to this team. But in certain games, like where he's not playing a lot of minutes, he's affecting the game in ways that you don't realize because he's on the sideline coaching just as much as Mark is. And during those timeouts, he's helping draw up plays. He's been doing this for a long time. He's experienced. Alex Caruso is one of the smartest players on our team. I would go as far to say defensively, he's probably one of the smartest players in the NBA, and I don't think it's very close. Like, he's way up there. The way he knows how to play off ball to deflect passes, to poke free and everything. Like, he lives for reading an offense. Like, I can only imagine how excited he gets when he figures out an offense or figures something out and gets to put it together. Unk, you mentioned he gets paid pretty good to be a player coach. I agree. But that's why in certain like matchups and whatnot, then you do play him. That's when you use him. Because I'm not saying you drop his minutes to 0. Like, he's not just a player coach. It's not like some pity thing where you have an old player who's just retiring with you and he's coaching. That's not what I'm saying. I want him to be working as that player coach, but then there's games where he'll come in and he will single-handedly win things for us. He will take care of he'll take care of a matchup. We saw it last year. He took care of Nikola Jokic, which is insane. So in certain matchups, absolutely, he needs to be playing more. Other matchups, I am okay with him not getting minutes. Like, I understand, and I'm just living with that. So that was just a comment I wanted to address. Unk, I totally get it. So we'll see what happens, but for now, I'm happy with the role he's been getting.
Yeah, I think his role is perfectly fine where he's at. Like, you just got to monitor his minutes with his age. I mean, he's had knick-knack injuries throughout this year. I mean, most of the guys have. So as you kind of get into those 30s, your muscles move a lot different. And he's been a really high impact dunker most of his career as well. So those knees are only going to age worse as the seasons go on. So I don't mind him being ready for, like this comment by Austin mentioned, he's here for, that playoff season. So I definitely don't mind that. The other takeaway I want to have here is Jay Will's starting to put together a string of really good offensive games. And I honestly didn't expect his efficiency to start coming back to him. And I would say the last 4 to 5 games, and it's a small sample size, but I hope that trend continues with him where he has efficient games, because you can stretch that out for a longer term. The more efficient string of games he can have, the more points he can score at a later time, where let's say he does have to play 40 minutes or 50 minutes or however many minutes he has to get in, 45 minutes for a game or an overtime game that goes, a little bit longer. We can see him, score up to 40 or 50 points or whatever it may be. So seeing him just be more efficient, I'm more happy about that, because that means he's finding out what works for his shot and what works, moving forward. And that's what we mentioned. Just give him time. He's going to figure it out. And it's clear that he's figured out that he needs to get the rebounds and get the assists and play defense. And he's kind of structured himself into that role where he knows what that role looks like. And now he knows, okay, now this is where I can insert myself into the offense. And so I love that from him tonight. Also, we don't mention this enough, so I'm going to start mentioning it. We have the MVP, and he had a fantastic night for us. He closed a win for us. He's on the best league team in terms of wins. So we need to just shout him out a lot more. I feel like we've just gotten too used to the fact that he's putting up 30 plus points, 20 plus points. I mean, tonight he's just he carried us for this win. This is what MVPs are made of, and this is what you expect out of them, where they have a 1 for 6 shooting night and they turn it into a 10 of 19, a +8 in the 32 minutes that where he had 16 points in the third quarter and really pretty much dominated this game. And that's something special. We should not start ignoring that just because he does it every single night. Yeah, he does it every single night, but he should get MVP because he does it every single night. Same thing with the clutch player of the year. Him being clutch in the third, him being clutch through the fourth. I mean, that's going to be a pretty obvious award. But the fact that there's people out there thinking that the MVP is not obvious, I would say it's a 85 to 15% split, maybe 80-20 maximum between the voters. But most of them are going to lean his way. And I understand how impressive of a year Jokic is having, but he's just not close in the win record right now. And we're only going to win more and more games as the year goes on. That gap is going to continue to increase. I just don't think the Nuggets are on our tier. They're also relying on a lot of rookie players. Like, a lot of the guys that score for them are a lot guard heavy. And I think that favors us when we match back up to them, because they're starting to rely on those guys a lot. And I don't think that's going to bode well for them with the new set of guards that we have with AJ, Kaysen. We're starting to get a lot of two-way guards. Also, J-Dub's been locking in on defense. So we have enough guard defense for a team like the Nuggets, and Chet, I feel comfortable against Jokic. So I'm really feeling confident about the team moving forward, even though we had that weird stretch of games. The sky was falling, and I think we're back to normalcy now.
Yeah, there was a comment earlier from Leone saying that it felt like we turned a corner after that comeback win, and I agree with you. Like, it's not just that we turned a corner and the defense started getting better, but it's also the fact that we're starting to get healthier. Like, once everything starts getting together and that puzzle starts coming together, we're going to be back to the way we were. Like, I don't think people act like the way we started the season was a fluke and like we just got lucky. And it's like, okay, I know we had an easier schedule, but we just won the NBA Finals. Like, this is a really high caliber team, whether you like it or not. And it's just gotten better because we have AJ Mitchell now, who's making a huge impact. So that's one thing that's just like blowing my mind is just moving forward. Like, we're starting to get healthier. Our mindset seems to be coming back. The defense is starting to slowly look as good, not as good as it was. I mean, our defense was insane, but it's starting to come together now. We're still forcing a bunch of turnovers, and that's huge to see. So, like, once all the stuff starts coming together, and then Hartenstein gets back and J-Will gets back, like, everything is going to start connecting. And I think people are going to realize real quickly just how good we're doing it. Mark leaves a comment here as well. He's doing it without the free throws too. So what are they going to say now? Mark, they're going to continue to say that he's a free throw merchant. They will never stop saying that. Just ignore it, man. It'll always be the same thing. He only had 9 tonight, but all of them were pretty valid. I mean, he's getting to the hoop, taking advantage of bad defense, which is what you should be doing. So we kind of mentioned this not that long ago. If you're going to be a poor defender and you're not going to be able to stay in front of him, like, yeah, he's going to take advantage of it because that's what smart players do. So, yeah, they're going to keep saying the free throw crap. Just get over, just ignore it. Like, really, we know what he's doing. And it's going to get to a point where, like Xavier said, they're going to get to the MVP voting and you're going to see the stats, you're going to see the record, and you can't not vote for him. Like, fans can hate him and players can dislike him. You can't deny it. Like, at some point, it is undeniable the records he's setting, the type of offense he's playing, and the fact that he's just as good on defense as any of the other top guards in the league. Like, he's an incredible two-way player. Like, I don't know how many times we have to explain this, how many different stats we have to pull up to show people, but he's an incredible defender. So it'll be interesting to see how the media portrays him for the next few months. But we know at the end of the year, that MVP award should absolutely be going to him. They can give it to him now for all I care, and it'll be the same way. So another comment here from Mark, big stat on the night. We were holding them to 0 second chance points. That's huge. Mark, I agree completely. Only 5 offensive rebounds from them. Meanwhile, we had 13. So, yeah, that's a big thing. So we'll just kind of move from there. But we are now at the 26-minute mark. So without further ado, Satveer segment, let's see it.
Welcome to Satveer's Quarter.
All right, guys. For my quarter, I had to figure out what stat that I wanted to choose that most Thunder fans would not recognize. But the Thunder are actually 3-0 in this stint here, where we've shot 29%, 24%, and 18%. And specifically tonight, from the three-point line, the Heat actually shot 53%. We only shot 29% tonight, and we got this win. So I thought this was a great stat to highlight in terms of, someone said, oh, if we don't make shots, the winning isn't sustainable. I say touche, because we usually win regardless of our shooting. We have all the other places outside of shooting pretty much figured out. And the nights that we are on, that's when we blow out teams by huge numbers. So even shooting mediocre nights where we're barely making threes, we're still rocking and rolling. I mean, most nights, like I've been mentioning, we get between 10 to 12 threes up that are made, and we could put up 30 or we could make up, put up 40. We're usually only making about 10 of them every single night. And I think we have that consistent formula of, okay, we know we're going to get that, so we have to do everything else that comes with it. And every single time we do that, we usually win. And this is the most consistent MVP with the most consistent team. So we're going to do that every single night. And I thought this was an amazing way to highlight it. And Austin here chiming in, when we shoot 40%, we're the best team in history. Pretty much. That's pretty much how it is. And hopefully we're rocking and rolling by the playoffs, and we are shooting back to our higher 38% like we were last year. And if we can do that, and we can get guys that get comfortable with their shooting, like a Lou Dort comes back, a Kaysen comes in and increases his shot. And obviously we know Caruso can lock in for the playoffs. J-Dub's going to get a little bit more comfortable. And the rest of the team is still also growing. These guys are so young. There's still so much basketball to be played. By the time the playoffs come around, as long as we're healthy, we're going to be shooting pretty well and laser focused, and we impact the floor and all the other ways. I have no doubt that this team will be competing for that championship once again. This game kind of made me feel at ease, at comfort with the kind of style, the way we won. It just kind of brought me back to the start of the season, and I'm happy to see we're just healthy. That's the main thing. We'll win games as long as we got guys on the court.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, when you're giving up a high 3-point percentage and on the other end you're shooting a very low 3-point percentage, yeah, statistically you are in trouble. Like, really, you're going to lose games. But if there's one thing we've learned about this OKC Thunder team and the last year's OKC Thunder team, statistically means nothing. We exceed expectations. We break stats. We always do what feels like it shouldn't be done, and it's always crazy. So, like Xavier said, the fact that we've not just, it's not like this happened one time where we just snuck out a win with the low. No, we've done this multiple times. You just mentioned we're 3-0 in the stint when that's happened. That's impressive. Like, that is so impressive. And a lot of it's on the defensive end. Even though we've been saying it looks lazy at times, the turnovers have still been forced consistently. There was a 10 free throw, my goodness, 10 turnover differential tonight. We forced 23 turnovers against them tonight, and they were not a high turnover team. Like, they take care of the ball sometimes. So, like, we're doing our job, like we complain about the defense looking lazy sometimes, and there are times where it still looks rough, but it's getting back to where it was, which Leone just commented that as well, saying it feels like our confidence is back and our defense is looking better. It is. It's coming back, but one constant is we are still forcing turnovers like no other team. I mean, it is so impressive the way we can force these turnovers, and that's what leads to these wins, even though we're shooting poorly. Like, we're so clutch and we're so able to make the best out of our fast breaks and make the best out of our turnovers that it doesn't really matter when it comes to, like, we can shoot bad and we can still score. Now, obviously, like, it'd be nice for Satvir and I's blood pressure and everyone else here if OKC could shoot a little more consistently from three. We wouldn't have to have these super close games, but either way, like, we're taking care of business. We're winning games. We still are one of the best teams. We are the best team. I'm not going to say one of the best teams. We are still the best team in the league. We're one of the best teams that the NBA has seen in quite some time. So once we're fully healthy, it's really going to be like the only way we're going to lose these games is if, one, we shoot terribly, two, they shoot exceptionally well, and we either lose the rebound battle or don't force turnovers. Like, that's a hefty list of things that have to go perfectly right so we can lose a game. I'm a big fan of that. I don't know about you, Savir, but knowing that that's how much it takes to take us down is really nice to hear. So that's kind of just the thing moving forward that I'm looking forward to. We had a comment here from Mike B. When does Hart come back? Yes, Mark adds it there. Maybe Tuesday. It's looking like it's going to be this coming week. He's definitely coming around the corner. He's been practicing. They've got clips of him recently in practice. So we're hoping it'll be soon. We need it to be soon because once he comes back, the ball is going to be rolling even harder. So until then, like, we're taking care of business. It's nice to have Jay Will back, but right now, it's looking good. It is looking good. The confidence is coming back. I'm glad to see that our defense is coming back and J-Dub's finding his rhythm as well. So the big three are looking like the best big three in the NBA right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should be back here soon. I mean, he just started ramping back up. So, I mean, I give him at least another week, and we're not in any kind of rush. And once we get a more official statement by the team, because they usually keep all this stuff under wraps, we'll definitely let you guys know. We'll be the first to put it out on Instagram. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow us over there. But it'd be perfect if he was to return for this Tuesday game. I definitely believe so. So if, he does get cleared for that and, he's ready for that, I mean, it'd still be in limited minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And yes, we're definitely a lot happier bunch when we win a couple games in a row and we don't have to see our team lose. I mean, we're just as big fans as you guys are that are in the chat. So we hate when the guys lose because it kind of puts a dim light on the team where even in losses, like, you'll see the team is still smiling, having fun. Not to say that they're not competitive, but they're just a close-knit group. So I'm never, worried about them, steering off in a wrong direction. Like, I don't think I've ever once mentioned about this team outside of back in the Russell Westbrook days and Kevin Durant, where there's an issue in the locker room or something like that. Like, this team is as happy as can be, and that's all we can really expect from them.
Yeah, for sure. Mark, if we weren't a lot happier when we were winning, I would tell you to find a different podcast because that just shows you how dedicated we are to this. I mean, obviously, if a win or loss doesn't affect the next day in your life, I don't know if you're fully into the franchise as much as you should be. Indie Sports Fan drops in real quick with a comment. He says, "My Pacers have won 2 games in a row. We're back." Love to hear it, Indy. We're supporting you, man. I hope everything goes well with you for sure. Austin Roberts giving us some NFL updates over here. Glad to hear it. Glad you're enjoying that. If anyone's a big NFL fan, definitely good time to be an NFL fan. There's some fun games happening in the playoffs right now, so glad to be hearing that for sure. But like Xavier was just kind of mentioning, like it's going to be it can be really easy to kind of get freaked out and get upset when things are starting to wrap in a bad way and things are starting to look rough where we lose 2 games in a row and it's like the sky is falling, as you said, Sabir. But we're good, guys. We're good. I promise. We're good. Jay Will comes back. We win the rebound battle. We take care of business without shooting the 3 ball well. So just wait until that 3 ball gets more consistent, until Hartenstein gets back, until everyone's healthy, until J-Dub's back. We're good, guys. I promise. But as mentioned in the comments, big test coming up on Tuesday. We are playing the Spurs. once again, it feels like we cannot escape them this season, but this will be a big game. It's going to show a lot. Hopefully Hartenstein's back. We'll really be looking for that and whatnot. So, Satveer, if you got something else you want to add.
Yeah, I was just going to mention SGA's comments about the Spurs on Tuesday. He said, "We got to win just like every other night. It's obviously a really good team who has got the better of us recently. It should be a fun game and should be competitive." So I can't wait to see that. And also he talked a little bit about J-Dub's improvement from his injury. And he said he has no choice. If we're going to win, we're going to need the best version of him. And he knows that. And we know that. And that'll get better as the season goes on. And I didn't expect him to average 40 out of the gate. So I'm happy that SGA kind of agrees with what we've been saying about J-Dub, kind of just backing up everything there. And also Mark Dagnall commented on J. Will, and he mentioned how he has a stabilizing nature on the court. And that's pretty much what we mentioned as well. It's great to have him back. He's worked hard to come back, and we felt a jolt just him being in tonight. And we saw that he had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block in 14 minutes. And that's what I mentioned about these guys that come off the bench. There's no other team like ours that has bench pieces that impact the game in so many different ways, where they're not just specialists and we're not just looking for them to do one thing. So I'm happy the team's healthy. I'm happy we're moving forward, and I'm happy to face the Spurs again because we need to get our lick back. So, Gabe, why don't you take us out of here?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you guys for all the comments. Thank you guys for jumping in here and talking with us. Quick reminder, if you are in OKC anytime for the next couple of weeks, we got 2 of our members there right now. Joe and Jack are having a ball down there. They were at the game tonight. They've been doing some interviews, doing some fun stuff with you guys, just getting to hang out. If you get the chance, go find them. I promise you it'll be worth it. They're going to try to catch a few games this season as well. So make sure you guys check that out. They'll be here for a little while. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for talking with us. We love being able to just do this and enjoy you guys' company. But as we mentioned, big game Tuesday. You guys, please check in we will do the pregame and the postgame. We want to hear you guys here for that. But without further ado, thank you guys for joining. And on behalf of Joe, Thunder up, baby, let's go.
Let's go.